Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're discussing the Seiko Spring Drive GMT SBGE011. You can see and you can purchase this handsome steel spring drive dual-time timepiece on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Seiko Spring Drive GMT SBGE011. Now, the timepiece on my wrist represents an excellent option for those who are interested in getting into Seiko and want to know which one should they own if they're going to own just one. This one. A combination of the distinctive spring drive that is iconic of this manufacturer with the highest level of finishing that you're going to find short of Crador. This is the Zaratsu polish with a contrasting satin, and of course a versatile style with a white metal and steel and a black dial for visual punch. It's also 100 meters water resistant, which means you've got just about everything you need for a watch that would be not just your only Seiko, but arguably your only watch overall if you had to size your collection down to just a single reference. So let's talk about how it fits. Well, this versatile timepiece is versatile from a ergonomic standpoint, as I can imagine a wide range of wrists wearing it comfortably. My 16 centimeter circumference wrist has no problem with the roughly 41 millimeter diameter of the case. I say roughly because I measured it at 40.8. It's also reasonably slim at 13.9, but with a generously double-stepped case flank as a result of the bevel of the case and the step of the bezel. You should have no trouble slipping it underneath any sport jacket or suit jacket coat. Even dress cuffs should be alright with very few exceptions. And if you're strangling your wrists with anything too tight to fit over this, may I ask that you perhaps reconsider, chill out a little bit, take a chill pill, and enjoy the comfort of a truly fine timepiece, beautifully cambered across its case back and lug profile to fit your wrist with comfort. You'll also note that the watch features a distinct difference between its lug-to-lug dimension, which would be, properly speaking, 49 millimeters. That would be if you were to take it off and put it on a strap. And as you can note, Seiko still makes it easy to use a pin tool to swap your straps and bracelets. But if you were to include the solid end links of the bracelet, now the watch has a more robust 51.9 millimeter, let's call it 52 millimeter span across the wrist. So in other words, if you're comfortable with the current 40 millimeter Rolex on a bracelet, you're going to wear this easily. Now, the watch features a substantial bracelet that uses sizing screws, not pins and sleeves, and features a handsome contrasting finish. As you can see, elements are both polished and satin executed. There's also polished shoulders, and as you'll note, and this is the best angle to show it, there is a handsome rounded bevel on the flank of each individual link. This is the kind of hand finishing virtuosity for which Seiko is known, and I will say more pointedly, something for which Rolex has not been known in eternities at this point. You're still getting a tremendously hand assembled but also hand finished watch with this Seiko. A simple clasp, low in profile, nicely branded, with twin triggers. Again, upscale fitment is the rule here. No friction fit, no clamshell, no pins and sleeves. It is a bracelet that looks good, feels good, and by virtue of its specification is objectively excellent. The case is perhaps more nuanced than we've come to expect from the likes of Breitling, Omega, and Rolex, and just like the bracelet, it's hand finished. Both the satin grained profile and the optically smooth Zaratsu polish of the expanding and contracting bevel have been achieved by artisans holding the case in their bare hands. So this is something that you get not just at an impressive price, but it's objectively outstanding. This is something at any price that would impress. The dial of the watch has immense punch, and this is where I really feel like Seiko sets itself apart from the Swiss. I don't feel like you're going to get a dial of this quality at anything like this price from the Swiss or the Germans for that matter. The timepiece features some of the most nuanced and handsome indices and hands. The hands themselves actually feature beautiful polished bevels that contrast with a directional satin grain on top, and the same is true of the individual indices, all of them featuring a combination of facets that catch catch the light and play against the light, as you can see, almost like gems. It's spectacular, and that's before we even get to the quality of the gloss black dial base. Now, the watch does have a sporting tritone of black with white calibrations, silver highlights, and a few splashes of red. There is a power reserve scale, as you can see at 7 o'clock, that traces the 3 days of maximum wind autonomy. For the record, this is caliber 9R66. Now it's fully wound. It winds nicely, and I have to say, little things impress. The strength of the stem and stem tube assembly is such that the crown feels like it's absolutely anchored on a ball-bearing pivot. It feels like it's so solidly planted in place that it's a permanent fixture of the entire case. There are some crowns from other brands that either use a split stem or perhaps a spindlier stem that leave you feeling you could break the crown. Here, the crown feels like it could stop a moving truck. The watch also features a useful combination of hacking seconds, so you can stop the caliber, bringing the seconds hand to a halt. And there is a easy adjuster that can drive the date in either direction as you travel across the international date line. Note, it does not stop the movement as it continues to advance, not affecting chronometry. You're able to quickly and positively set your current time as you travel. I'll also mention one of the highlights of a Seiko, Grand Seiko, or Crador spring drive is the perfectly smooth sweep of the hand. Now, this is not a high rate escapement. This is a true smooth, uninterrupted sweep. This is the only caliber, this and one weird Piaget, that can achieve that. That Piaget, however, costs the better part of $100,000. Now, Grand Seiko did invent this system known as spring drive. It has a unidirectional governing wheel. It creates an induced current. It's powered by a spring. It is an automatic winding watch with 30 joules built and regulated by a watchmaker. Here's how it operates. First, the spring, by manual or automatic winding, gains energy. The spring then drives a traditional mechanical drivetrain that operates the governing wheel apparatus. The governing wheel creates a induced current. Actually, the train and the governing wheel create and interact with an induced current that activates a quartz oscillator. That's why the movement is accurate to plus or minus 15 seconds per month. Now, if the watch is running too fast, the induced current created by the governing wheel will generate a back EMF that will slow down by electromagnetic force the movement of that hand. And if it's moving insufficiently quickly and slowing down, the back EMF or the electromagnetic resistance will ebb and it will speed up. So it's self-regulating by means of electromagnetic forces. It's powered by purely mechanical spring energy, and it's governed by a quartz oscillator. All this with a traditionally watchmaker manufactured movement, mechanical in every respect except the oscillator and the governor. That's spring drive. Completely unique, distinctive of its manufacture, and incredibly versatile with 100 meters water resistance. This is a timepiece to own if you're going to own only one Grand Seiko, and one might even say if you're going to own only one premium watch. See it and own it on our website.